Hey everyone, Andrea Caprio here from Wellness Methods with my weekly video. Today I want to dive in deep into your gut. I am passionate about gut. I have done 2 specializations in gut health or digestive health, even one in functional medicine, gut health. And I think it's so important. And I will explain you why. But today, what I want to share is actually one thing that's lesser known, and that's prebiotics. Why prebiotics are so important for your gut health and why you definitely want to include them. And of course, I will share with you plenty of tips where to find those prebiotics. Now, let me explain you first. I'm not talking about probiotics. Probiotics obviously are very important, but today specifically I want to talk about prebiotics because they're not so well known. Okay, right. Let's dive right into your gut. And please feel free to share this video with your friends and, of course, comment, ask questions. Also, the more the better. I always love and appreciate when some people write to me, and I will always, of course, get back to you, even though it might be the replay. Now, you obviously have heard about probiotics. Probiotics, for those pups who need a little bit more explanation, are basically the microorganism that is in our gut. It's also called, or specifically called, gut microbiota, and formerly it was called gut flora. I think they scrapped the title or so and replaced it with a newer one. So interestingly, we have over 100 different species of probiotics, of microbiota. So that's quite a lot, if you can imagine, and probably there are far more than we think. They're still doing so many studies, but there are tens of trillions of microorganisms hosting in our gut. Now, I challenge you to write down and tell me in weight how many kilograms or how many pounds do you think that is actually? How many probiotics or gut bacteria, microbiota do you think is that actually? I mean, in weight, just type that in the comments and I let you type it and I will tell you just the reply to that. Now, just a little other explanation, we have about 3 million different genes. And in fact, the gut bacteria is much more than obviously those genes. So, if you just see 10 of trillions, I mean, I read there might be 30 trillions. It's a lot. It's really, really a lot. So far more than we have genes, and also more, actually, it's 150 times more than we have human genes. And it's also apparently more than we have cells in our body. So in fact, the gut bacteria, so bacteria kind of from outside, right, is actually more than our genes and than our cells. So that's quite interesting. Now, if you have typed the answer, I'm very curious to see, but I give you the answer. It's roughly that we have 2 kilograms, that's over 4 pounds, 4.4 pounds or so of gut bacteria in our microbiome. It's huge, huh? 2 kilos. So, that's part of our body. And why is it so important is really because they are helping us with digestion, obviously. I mean, that makes quite sense. But also they help us to absorb certain nutrients. So it's really important that we have the good gut bacteria. Now, just to give you an idea, we have good bacteria and bad bacteria. And we want obviously to have more good bacteria than bad bacteria. And that's, by the way, why prebiotics are so important and why we also want to add constantly probiotics, so more good gut bacteria. Okay. So those bacteria, also the good ones, so it helps us with nutrients, and the gut microbiota is also helping very much to balance our whole digestive system and prevent from any foreign invaders, pathogens, whatever might come into our gut. And remember, a lot of things come in because it's all the food we are eating. So it prevents us from getting harmed by any foreign invaders. It's really important for your immune system. 70% of our immune system is actually fabricated in the gut. And I give you another statistic, 90% of our serotonin, that's the good feel, the relaxation neurotransmitter, are done in our gut, not in our brain. Okay, so far more than we previously thought is actually done in our gut. And a lot of people talk of the second brain, or actually of the primary brain, and a gut brain axis. So it's bidirectional. So what happens in your brain goes into your gut, and what comes from the gut goes into your brain. So these work really in sync. So if your gut is healthier, your brain, your emotions, your focus, your memory, and all that will be healthier. And of course, also if you're practicing mindfulness, you're doing meditation, you're not too stressed and all that, that goes down into your gut as well. Now I'm having a problem with that word. Now, how do you get that better? As I mentioned, prebiotics are non-digestible foods that feed the good bacteria. And by the way, sugar or refined food, processed foods and all that, so foods that are void of any nutrients, feed the bad bacteria. So the more sugar, and I call it rubbish food, we eat, the more actually our bad bacteria will increase and the good bacteria will decrease. So we want to add a lot of good food for our good bacteria, and these are prebiotics. Now, where do you find them? Right, let's dive in. First of all, before I do that, I have written recently a blog post about all this. I'm that passionate. So you can find it. The link is here in the description, so you can check it out more. And in that blog post are also for you is a resource, that two resources. And one is actually the list of all the prebiotic foods, and a list also of good probiotic foods. Because ideally, of course, we want to add as much as be possible in our food, what we are eating. It's good to take supplements, and I do take some, and I recommend it at times, but it's definitely better to have it from your food. Now, where do I find prebiotics? One thing are raw Jerusalem artichokes. They have nothing to do with normal artichokes. They're actually really nice, but difficult to find them. Raw garlic and raw or cooked onions are also really great prebiotics. And anywhere, it's really good food also to detox, lots of sulfur in. So those two, unless you have some issues with them, I definitely recommend to add. It's Mediterranean, we add a lot that in our foods and all that. So definitely. You have also raw asparagus that are really good, and dandelion greens. And funny enough, I literally just poured myself tea, and in there are dandelion as a tea. So it's really nice. And dandelion, by the way, you find usually it's a weed. So it's, it's on your grass. It might grow free. So it's really a cheap thing to collect. But you can get it as greens for your salad, or you can have it also dried in a tea or so. Leeks are also really good. Chicory root. And then you have resistant starches that are really good as prebiotics. Now, resistant starch, I just had it earlier this lunchtime. Cooked and cooled potatoes, or cooked and warm potatoes as well, but they should be cooked and then cooled, form something that's called resistant starch. And as I said, all these are actually non-digestible foods, and these feed the good bacteria. So, just add some cooked potatoes in your salad if they're cold, or, reheat them and make them warm. Green bananas and plantains are also really good in prebiotic. And you have also cooked or parboiled rice and legumes as well. Really, really good source for that. And potato starch, plantain flour, green banana flour, and tapioca starch as well. And a couple of more, but I invite you to check out my blog post and then check out one of the add-ins there with my food list for more prebiotic-rich foods and probiotic-rich foods. I hope that was useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And remember, really, it's important for your gut to add that. And also remember, to add a lot of probiotic-rich foods. These are usually fermented foods like yogurt or sauerkraut. You can do your own sauerkraut, kombucha, kefir, kimchi. All these foods have really beneficial probiotics. Right. Thank you so much for joining me, and check out my article, my blog post. The link is in here. And please do share this video with your friends on your timeline, or, just wherever you are, directly or indirectly. And if you have any questions directly, if you're concerned about your gut health or any other health issues, just reach out to me and I would love to get back to you. Thanks so much. It's Andrea Caprio from Wellness Methods. Bye-bye.